Hello everybody and welcome to another community fortress. This one was sent in by Trito. And I just wanted to say before I dive into the fortress that I wanted to thank everybody who's sent in fortresses on the Discord so far. The list is getting very long and I'm going to have to set up some sort of day where I go through and just take a look at as many of them as possible and record these videos live because frankly this is getting a bit much to handle. I only upload one of these videos per day. I don't really want to do more than one and it's there that you guys are still somehow putting them up there faster than I can get through them. So this fortress was sent in a little bit over a week ago, and it goes by the name of Polishtowns of the somber blockade of the civilization known as the Oily Paper. And they comment that they have tried to make it pretty from the get-go, so I'm going to run through things and just kind of have a look-see and see what we can find. So, when we dive into the fortress kind of area, we can see this lovely little creek that runs through this cliff here, and it, of course, kind of flows through and then off the side of the map, a bit of a smaller embark here for frame rate purposes. As we zoom in, the first thing that I've noticed is, man, you really need a way to dispose of these bodies because this is just going to be like insta-trauma when you walk outside. You see this dwarf right here, just doesn't feel anything after seeing a goblin's dead body, isn't stressed, but is hungry. When a dwarf walks out here, they're just going to immediately see all these bodies, and somebody who's a little bit fragile is going to, like, get immediately stressed. This is like kind of almost like walking through a natural hazing process as you walk into a frat. It's a little bit terrifying and definitely not something that I would want my dwarves to have to go through upon entering my fortress. But, you know, if you want a fortress full of hardened dwarves, maybe not the worst idea at the same time, I would advise using an atom smasher or some sort of automated minecart setup to get the bodies themselves underground, but let's take a look at the stairs themselves. We go down one layer, we can see a couple farms. This is a pretty much adequate size if you're going to be using the surface farms, because the surface farms are 1/5 of the effectiveness as either mud farms or cavern farming. Of course, over here we do have some livestock pastures as well as an animal training zone, and of course a couple alcohol stockpiles and some brewers as well as some farmer shops. We can see that there is a process plants task or set up down there, which if I glance over here at the work orders, there's a good number of automated work orders here, and I'm just looking to see where the process plants is. Yeah, there you go. They just do infinite process plants, which is definitely a way to do it if you don't mind seeing some cancellations. We do have water flowing safely off of the side of this creek here. Looks like they dug into the side of it here at a diagonal. Digging at a diagonal into water, of course, removes all of the pressure behind water, so you're not going to get a sudden whoosh of water coming through. And because this is just a brook, dwarves can walk across it, and there's going to be no threat of creatures being able to get in through this corner. If this was something with actual depth built into it, then a big monster that didn't need water or zombies, or as an example, that could easily get in there. And then they're using this to power these water wheels, which is then flowing all the way over here and then off into oblivion. From what I can tell, it seems to just kind of fall down, and then very much eventually into this cavern layer, and then what appears to be off the edge of the map. Yes, right here off the edge of the map. So, thief, protect the horde from skulking filth. We'll get to that in a little bit, I'm sure. So, we are now going to scroll up to the surface once again and go back over to where we were going down. I noticed that you've got this kind of 4x5 square style of stairs, which is the one I prefer to use. I just want to note one thing. The reason this stairwell is really good for frame rate is, first off, pathing. It gives them the most possible options to get past dwarves with the minimum possible possibility of them hitting each other. But also, normally this is very effective because it has walls like this. And as we scroll down, there's going to be a lot of areas that don't actually have the walls because the entire layer has been cut out. This isn't necessarily a problem, but if you do want to get the most out of a stairway setup like this, you do want to kind of leave these walls in, or alternatively construct them. We have a little cattle pasture right here. They're grazing upon the lovely natural mosses that grow after the cavern layers are exposed. And then as we begin to move down through the stairway, we're going to start to get into one of my favorite materials in the game right now, dolomite, just because of the colors that it provides. These are the areas that I'm talking about here, the ones that are a little open. And then as we go down, we can actually see a lot of different nice resources. And then eventually we're going to suddenly hit the fortress right about here. All right, so now we get to the first layer, and definitely using the dwarves live deeper than they're dead kind of setup, because coffins at elevation 1, actually a very high elevation fortress. We do have several different coffin setups. We have a tomb over here, as well as a bunch of individual ones, as well as some room coffins around the edges. Not a huge death count up here, it seems. A zone that is currently being smoothed. I'm just gonna erase this so we can have a peek. Nice patterns here. A variety of bedrooms, very large bedrooms as well. I'm sure the dwarves will appreciate all of the all of the space here. And then as we move down, we can see this pattern continues throughout this quartzite, this lovely, lovely pink quartzite. We can kind of move around and just get a look at this layout. I don't really have anything to say about this zone. It's very, very well designed, very nice looking. Not too many tips to offer here, aside from this just looks really cool. Down here, there's a small archery zone as well as a small barracks over top of it. And if I move us down another layer, we kind of have the entryway to the fort. We have these lovely almost flag-like pattern. I looked at them, I'm like, those look like flags. We've got this kind of like pink and white cross kind of aesthetic. Of course, these little stairs jump up into the upper bedroom layers. And down here we have a stockpile filled with something, various items it appears to be. And over here there is another barracks. I quite like the almost arena look this has to it. I think it's kind of a missed opportunity that the walls aren't smoothed, but it looks cool nonetheless. More bedrooms, of course, as well as war dogs patrolling the hallways. And then down here we have our first dining hall, as well as our first guild that we've seen, which is a metalsmith's guild right here. Definitely nice, looks nice with those mica tables inside. A large kind of crafts room for different tasks and materials. And then this gorgeous library combined with gorgeous tavern, the copper garnishes. I'm curious, how many books does this library have? It currently has 0 written copies. Well, it's time to send the military out to go steal some, because you gotta acquire some somehow. And alongside of a very nice, well-appointed tavern. I'm loving the marble tables, and as well as this huge source of water dump, which we're seeing from the surface. It looks like it's kobolds attacking. I'm not too concerned. Of course, like I was mentioning earlier, the water falls off into oblivion, so it kind of comes out of right up here. The water flows in from several different locations, mostly from the creek over here on the side. Similar setup to before, where it's dug into the side, and it just flows out and down into here. It looks like they had some other attempts of getting water to other places, potentially, or maybe they just used that for digging. I'm not entirely sure. And regardless, the water falls down, not super evenly. Looking at this, there is a few other ways that you could have done this. You could have kind of gone all the way along here, but the problem is then the water would have like drained out. So what I would have actually done is I would have gone 1 or 2 layers further down and made like a reservoir, and then made the reservoir go over top of this, and then had multiple different kind of spouts coming out of the sides that would then connect with this kind of central like tube shafts thing setup that you've got down here that would then fall down into the bottom, just to kind of try and disperse the water a little bit better, because the problem with those rivers, those brooks, they actually drain out quite quickly, and once they've drained, like, then you're not going to be able to disperse your water, but it is working just fine. Like, that's just a way that you could improve it theoretically. Lovely setup though, looks really nice, and I think it's super cool. Big fan. And then as we try and find the stairs again. There are the stairs in the center. Over here on this side, we do have some more industry, as well as some temples, and, just more dogs and animals and livestock running around. Great frames on this fort, probably because of the small map size. A little bit lower down, we do have a dungeon, as well as several other different rooms, I think, for the dungeon master and the captain of the guard, looks like. Yep. And also, I gotta say, I love how some of the dwarves in the dungeon get a cage and others actually get like a bed. At least they get a bed. The problem with this, actually, putting beds into your dungeons, and this is something that I learned pretty quickly, if you happen to have a vampire in your fort, okay, and that vampire gets, caught for being a vampire, right, and is thrown into a dungeon, and there's a bed there, they don't sleep. So some poor citizens looking for somewhere to take a snooze, and they see this bed in the dungeon, and they run in there and they take a snooze, which they do from time to time. Vampires like, ooh, free meal, so be careful about this. Definitely looks cool, but might be misplaced niceties. Down here we have the mayor's office. Lovely. Triple office style. And then down here we have the caverns. With cavern access locked here, and I'm assuming this goes back up to the military for cavern access, and I'm just assuming that the kind of idea here is if any beasts spawn, then you remove them this way. All of this is water that I think is draining from the kind of upper area. Is this draining from here? Yes. No? Where's this water coming from? Oh, is it just spilling out the side there? Okay, yeah, it certainly looks like it's spilling out the side there. Huh. Yeah, it's like a downward slope kind of going out into there. Yeah, it's a good thing this is a small map, otherwise this would be doing a number for your frames. There's just, when there's this much water stuff going on, it can cause some weird messes, but lovely, lovely spot. Lots and lots of silk there. I would be abusing the heck out of that There's something kind of cool about flooded cavern layers, though. They kind of look awesome. All right, and then we can scroll down. We can kind of follow the stairs as they go down, 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 all the way down to some forges. Majestic. Highly respectable. I would find some way of transporting the Kesserite and whatever down that you're smelting a little bit quicker. But aside from that, pretty rad, I gotta say. Pretty rad. And then, of course, there's these kinds of backstairs right here. Lovely little fort. I really like the bedroom patterns. They look very nice and satisfying to look at. You need to work on your bodies out here on the front, and that's kind of it. Don't really have too much else to say about this particular fort. If you would like to send in a fortress for me to have a look at on this show, you can do that via the Discord save sharing room on my Discord. Just simply load up your copy of Dwarf Fortress, jump to the local files, and then find the save of your choice, zip it along with any mods that you happen to be using, and then send the save over on that Discord via either a file sharing service of your choice or like just the Discord itself if it's small enough. Thank you very much for watching this video. And if you happen to be watching it the day it goes up, check out my Twitch channel because I'm probably live, and Tarn Adams, aka one half of Bay 12 Games, is going to be on my stream at 2 p.m. Pacific time. Should be fun. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you over there.